You founded India's first homegrown antivirus.
It really started by solving customer problems, real problems.
You took out global giants like McAfee, Norton, and you ultimately took your company public.
Customers just care that how well you solve their problem. Customers don't care where is the solution coming from, whether it's Bombay, Bangalore or Pune.
Both sides are armed with the same tool or the same weapon. How does that fight play out?
AI is available for defenders as well.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good.
Thank you so much for taking out time today, sir. Lovely to have you here.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me here.
We're supposed to have a quick fireside, but at a later date, probably we'd like to have much more deeper insights if time permits.
Of course, yeah, no worries. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So let me start with something which most founders, entrepreneurs would like to start with, something really close to your heart. You founded India's first homegrown antivirus quick heal out of a small repair shop in Pune, along with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You took on rather global giants like McAfee, Norton, and you ultimately took your company public. Take us back to your early days. Tell us how you did it. And also, what would you advise entrepreneurs and founders who are not based in Bangalore or Gurgaon or any such entrepreneurial hubs? Yeah.
Yeah, see, Quick Heal never was started as a big idea or planning to become a big antivirus company, something like that. It really started by solving customer problems, real problems. I'll take you back, it was late 80s and early 90s when I was doing my college. My elder brother was having a computer repair workshop, and he used to see customers and computers used to come there. People used to bring computers to his workshop for solving hardware problems. He was very good at that. But many a times what he observed was there was no hardware problem with the computers. There was a virus problem that was causing computer to not function well. Like floppy drive making too much noise or something like that. Or even a printer printing alternate lines, something like that. All those were virus challenges. And I'm studying into computer science. He said that, why don't you help me solve this? Because, see, people used to feel that it used to be we need to solve them, whether it's a hardware problem or a virus problem. And so I being from a tech side, I started manually cleaning those computers using whatever tools were available at that time. And it was giving me good experience and at the same time satisfying the customers that the virus problem is also getting solved. But as I was studying, I learned about programming languages, I learned about operating system. I thought I started developing tools that can help him to do it without me being at the office. And that is how it began, one virus at a time. I was doing my graduation. By the time I reached my final year of master's, we had a collection of tools for different viruses, cleaning different viruses. And he said, why don't we create an antivirus out of that? And that thought really excited me. And that is when I started working on our own antivirus. And we launched it in the year 1995. That is how it began. But if I recall it now, the real challenges began after we launched the antivirus. The challenges like India was having piracy was rampant in those days. We were needing funds to hire people, but there was nobody who was, VCs were not there, nobody was funding software companies. And then at the same time, it was very difficult to hire engineers because most of them were getting placed in large MNCs. So there was so many challenges. But what kept us going was we kept on patiently solving things on the ground as well as on tech side. We kept on innovating. And it really helped us. Gradually, we became India's leading antivirus. Then later on, we got funded, we got listed. Now, Quick Heal has become a global player, having presence across the globe. And this, to answer your question about if I have to tell, the biggest thing that founders can learn through this is innovation doesn't depend on from where you come, actually. It's innovation depends on how closely you understand the customer problems. And so I'll say customers don't care like where is the solution coming from, whether it's Bombay, Bangalore, or Pune. Customers just care that how well you solve their problem. Is it solving better than anybody else out there? Actually?
Awesome, sir. Couldn't agree more. Kind of takes me back to our days, our starting days out of a small Barsati in Delhi. And although we are still very early in our journey, nearly not as far as the heights that you've achieved, but I can still kind of empathize with that.
Thank you. Yes.
So your world is full of terminologies, right, and probably jargons, which is beyond the reach of ordinary individuals, right? So it's very difficult for us to decode those terms. Terms like threat intelligence, sorry to cut you there, threat intelligence or 0 day or so forth and so on. So how would you actually explain cybersecurity to somebody from a non-tech background? And especially since today is a day and age where AI is a much discussed topic, the role of AI in cybersecurity, to be very specific, how would you explain it to somebody from a non-tech background like myself, right? How would you do that?
Yeah, if I have to explain, I always give this analogy. Like when you are building home, you look at like what furniture you will be having, how will be the lighting, all the interior, all that. But once you move your family inside the house, you start thinking about how you will lock it, how the windows are secure, whether there is a safety door, where you'll install CCTV cameras. And if you see, digital security is same like that. In today's world, everything, all the assets are digital. If you see, it's demat is digital, bank accounts are digital, no matter what, even property papers are all digital. And for them, the window to this digital world is your laptop, your cell phone, or even systems in your offices. These are the doors to your digital assets. And there again, as we protect the physical world, we have to protect these digital assets to make sure that nobody enters in a wrong way and takes or steals them or even cause damage. And cybersecurity is all about like allowing the right people inside your digital world and stopping or keeping out the hackers out of that. And if at all somebody is successful, enters that, finding out that in the quickest way, limiting the damage and taking control of the things. That's all I'll say you can say what is cybersecurity. And where I'll say now, since things have become more complex, digital things has a lot of complexity, digital network, internet, cloud. There are so many jargons out there, but you can just remember this thing as it is all about protecting your assets and gaining trust for people who are going to use these digital things. And how AI is changing the world is, since the AI, if you see in the last 3-4 years, AI has become more commoditized. It is more easily accessible. Because see, earlier as well, cybersecurity vendors were having access to AI and machine learning, but it was like very costly and we used to have it on server side. But now it is easily available even to a common man. And that is where I am seeing scarier things are happening. Even the simplest of hacker can start sending phishing mails and start their activities. And that's where the AI is enabling them. But fortunately, AI is also helping the defenders, and we are able to protect the users through the help of AI. And that's how it's actually. Yeah.
Interesting that you say that, sir. So just to build on that, brings me to the next question. In fact, Quick Heal itself has gone AI native with a lot of AI-specific products being rolled out. But the flip side of this is that, like you mentioned, it's much more accessible today. The same AI is in the hands of cybercriminals also, right? So both sides are armed with the same tool or the same weapon. How does that fight play out? As in, who stays ahead? Who decides who gets to stay ahead? And what excites you about this as an opportunity? And at the same time, what keeps you awake at night? Specific to this.
Interesting question. So, see, for me as well, I'll
I think this is not working. You can.
Yeah. So, I'll say I have seen the biggest technological shift in my last 3 decades with this kind of innovation that is happening in AI. And if you see, for cyber criminals, earlier, they need to have that kind of talent, knowledge to hack some bank or an individual. But now, what has happened is because of AI, this cost has dramatically come down. It has made much easier. Now, even a novice hacker or a teenager can easily create convincing fake videos or a fake website of a big brand, or even audio messages, audio calls. And this is something going in a much difficult or different direction, where sophisticated attacks can now become much easier and much cheaper. And fortunately, as I just said, AI is available for defenders as well. And that is where cybersecurity vendors like us are making sure that we make use of AI to really speeden up the detection process, or speeden up the volumes of attacks that we are seeing, and fight these AI attacks at the machine scale. And that is possible only because of the way things are getting developed. But at the same time, what I'll say is, AI, even though it has commoditized, what really worries me is the cost it has come down. And that is where I'll say we really have to start thinking about being much more aware. Because what is happening, the attackers are getting defended or protected by the cybersecurity vendors, but now the attackers are attacking the trust by using social media. So they'll call you on your phone with the voice that may sound like your dad or some CEO calling their employee, and they will get fooled. Now here there is no technology involved, but then in the sense stopping, but then the attacks are attacking your social circle. And that is where it is carrying me. But what excites me is that being able to fight that with the help of AI is more exciting. And this is like ever-ending, never-ending race. And I'll say, I'll always think in this fashion that we have to be very much serious about winning this race, I'll say. Yeah.
Agree, sir. We have all heard horror stories about deepfakes and deepfake scams, and even experienced professionals and very educated professionals have been scammed out of money, and definitely merits a lot of attention to this matter. Speaking of life beyond Quick Heal, right? What excites you beyond Quick Heal? What makes you say yes, rather, beyond Quick Heal? I've heard you're a prominent deep tech investor. You have invested in companies like UPI AI, Pantheon, etc. So let's say a founder was to walk into the room and show you an excellent, cutting edge technology with no proven market value, right, or proven market access. What would you say, and what would make you say yes?
So yeah, both the investments that I did, both are deep tech actually. And if you see what really I believe is that deep tech is all about like working for the future solutions actually. And in deep tech, I don't expect a founder to come out with a proven marketing, because what happens, deep tech is technology that is a few years ahead or several years ahead of their time, and it's very difficult for a founder to come out with a proven market figures for that. But what I look while investing into such deep tech is how well the founder understands the real problem that he's trying to solve. And see, what I do is, even technology is not the only thing that I look. I ask these three questions. For making it easy, I'll put it in three questions. First thing, is the problem real problem? In the sense, customers don't pay for, I'll say, customers pay for pain and they don't pay for your technology. So even no matter how deep tech you are, but is it really solving the real problem? And the second is like, does the founder has deeper understanding of the problem better than anybody else out there in the market? And why? Because, passion is common, but deep understanding is rare, is what I observe, and I have experienced that as well. So that's why I always focus how passionate, how deeper understanding that founder has about the technology that he's developing. And third, whether this company can go global. So when we are investing into deep tech, it is always long term. It takes time. It takes time to mature. And when we are solving such a difficult problem, you have to think it global from the day one itself. So if the answer for these questions is straightforward, yes, I go for it. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for me. Yeah.
Lovely, sir. So, Centricity is a tech-forward, a tech-first wealth manager. We like to position ourselves that way. We would love to, especially our CTO, Mr. Kamal, would love to have some mentorship from you at some point of time. Love to have a great, longer discussion in the future. But thank you so much for the insightful fireside, sir. Lovely to have you here. And thank you to our host.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.